reasons you all know. And my name is Thomas T. Abraham. I'm the CEO of the Hotel Medley Intercontinental. I have two caveats before I start off, especially in view of the international media and with the obvious reasons of the international attention to the subject at review. We have just a 10-minute window being made available by the international media for live coverage. Therefore, I will take less time than normally I would to make my statement. With two caveats I want to start. One, I would refrain from entering any area, intruding into any area of investigation, be it the core area or the peripheral area for obvious reasons. Second, I would again not be able to share any visuals of what might arouse your curiosity in terms of some of the subjects I'm going to discuss with reference to the Hotel Medley Intercontinental. With this preface, may I say this, friends, that it is true that as you have seen in the media, there has been an unfortunate incident last night in the hotel. It is true that His Excellency, the South African High Commissioner to India, who was occupying suite number 201, was attacked by a knife-wielding assailant. At the same time, as the police bulletin has stated only about a half an hour ago, quoting the hospital sources, fortunately, our honored guest is out of danger. Thirdly, there was an element of an item of news going around that one of our employees accosted a stranger around the time this incident allegedly happened, and reports say that our employee walked away doing nothing. Friends, that is the area of this conference, subject of this conference. I have the authority, I have the request and the desire of the employee concerned that the hotel and the employee's names are cleared. With your permission, I would say this much, that the employee concerned is one Mr. Hemanta, who has been an exemplary employee with us ever since the beginning of this hotel, that is about 9.5 years ago. He has won monthly awards for best employee, but what happened is not exactly this. He has a medical condition wherein he gets into situations of nervous breakdown under severe stress. Now, the matter is still under police investigation. At the same time, I have the responsibility, especially a duty to my colleague, to clear some part of the false information that's going around. What has happened is that he did see a stranger, and in a non-verbal manner, he said, Haji. He said, Haji. When you say Haji, it's an invitation to the other side to respond. It's saying he wants something or whatever. But the assailant apparently pulled out a knife and came towards him threateningly. This is all Mr. Hemanta can remember. Thereafter, he had a nervous breakdown. He literally collapsed. That's what happens when he has this situation. And he was seen by another employee around 4 o'clock in the morning. I would stop here and seek questions from the media. I will, to the best of my knowledge, but within the confines of the limitations I have in my understanding of the media, with the police, I would like to answer it. Thank you.
You said this employee had a nervous breakdown, has a tendency to have a nervous breakdown. Would you say it's advisable to keep such employees, especially monitoring hotels who couldn't respond to such a situation? Would you say it's wise to keep such employees?
Very valid question. I appreciate that. We have the same anxiety in this matter. But I want to now draw your attention to something else that happened. As you know very well, that the IPL matches which were fixed for in the state of Maharashtra had to be shifted at the last moment. Mostly they came to our city, the Garden City, Bangalore. And given the international reputation and the location of our hotel, which is just opposite the Vidhana Soda, which is within a stone's throw. In fact, Gale, if he hits a sixer, it could even fall in our hotel. To the stadium, a lot of international guests sought a room with us. Now, we would try to satisfy guests as much as possible. In the process, we almost reach 100% plus room occupancy. With the result, we had to push into service some of the non-operating staff into food and beverages. In that process, somebody like Hemanta, who has been exemplary in his job, was pushed in. Remember again that in the food and beverages department, generally, one doesn't have such stressful conditions. This is a very, very odd thing that's happened. That I hope would explain why we brought Hemanta into this. Thank you.
So what kind of security measures will you henceforth follow to avoid such kind of activities?
We have a commendable, enviable record in safety, as you know. Incidentally, we have a system of CCTV which has helped the police a lot, whereby every bit is captured but in a mutilated manner so that the guest's privacy is maintained. But when the need comes, we can get high resolution pictures which is helping the police. Beyond that, we do not envisage the need for any additional safety because this wasn't an issue of safety. Frankly, the gentleman who came in, I think it's within the police investigation. Therefore, I have to refrain myself from explaining that, except to say that in this particular case, it wasn't the failure of the safety system. Permit me to stop with that for the time being. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Shouldn't there be an active frisking system in place before you allow knife and to carry for an assailant to carry a knife into your
Again, that brings to dispute the question whether the knife was taken in by the assailant or was made available elsewhere. Very much, I'm sorry, within the purview of the police investigation. I cannot intrude into that area at the moment.
Aren't you trying to put all the blame on that single employee of yours? If the security system had been better, he wouldn't have entered the campus as such.
On the contrary, I'm sorry, maybe I didn't communicate myself well. I was giving him all the credit. I'm giving him all the credit for having such an exemplary record and volunteering to step into a situation like this because hotel wanted it. Incidentally, that was because we had planned leave for our employees. We do that. And we asked for the employees if they could come back, but we never put pressure because we believe that the territory of the destination of customer satisfaction can only reach if we can walk through the corridor of employee satisfaction. Therefore, we are quite protective of employees' interests and their rights. So we did not insist on anyone cancelling the leave. But loyal as they are, many of them came back. And Mr. Hemanta is his name. Again, he did not want his photograph shared. That's why I'm unable to give it to you. He is still resting. So therefore, I was not blaming him one bit. I was giving him all the credit.
Finally, I want to ask you one more question. Whether you are willing to accept that your lapses only, your employee lapses only, actually should give 100% security to the excellency, that the South African ambassador. Finally, but you should accept it, no? Your employee made a mistake. Somehow you are trying to convince media.
I humbly submit to you that the employee did not commit any mistake. I humbly submit to you that where the blame lies can only come out when the investigation is completed. Thank you very much for your time.